One love, one heart. Let's get together and feel alright. One love, one heart. Give thanks and praise to the Lord, and I will feel alright. Let's get together and feel alright. Let them all pass their dirty remarks. One love, there is one question I really love to ask. One heart, is there a place for the hopeless sinner who would hurt all mankind just to save his own beliefs? Everybody singing, one love, one heart. Let's get together and feel alright. One love, one heart. Give thanks and praise to the Lord, and I will feel alright. Let's get together and feel alright. Let's get together to fight this holy Armageddon. One love. When the man comes, there's gonna be no doom. One heart, have pity on those whose chances grow thinner. There's no hiding place from the Father of creation. Everybody singing, one love, one heart. Let's get together and feel alright. One love, one heart. Give thanks and praise to the Lord, and we will feel alright. Let's get together and feel all right.
Morning. I'm going to let Ernest do the welcome. Peace be unto you, stranger. Enter and be not afraid. I have left the gate open, and thou art welcome to my home. There is room in my house for all. I have swept the hearth and lighted the fire. The room is warm and cheerful, and you will find comfort and rest within. The table is laid, and the fruits of life are spread before thee. The wine is here also, it sparkles in the light. I have set a chair for you where the sunbeams dance through the shade. Sit and rest and refresh your soul. Eat of the fruit and drink the wine. All is yours, and you are welcome. It's the frontispiece to the Science of Mind textbook. So, welcome to the Golden Gate Center for Spiritual Living. My pleasure to welcome you. Turn off your little cell phones.
And your big ones.
and your big ones. Now say hello to 2 or 3 people in your vicinity. All right. We have a great service for you today. The words to the morning chant will appear on the wall.
How many people here have seen Edwene Gaines? Yeah, does she rock your world or what? Anyway, I wrote this chant after a workshop with her. All that I see, all that I hear, all that I feel is God. All that I have, all that I do, all that I am is God. All that I see, all that I hear, all that I feel is God. All that I have, all that I do, all that I am is God. One more time. All that I see, let me hear ya. All that I hear, all that I feel is God. All that I have, all that I do, all that I am is God. All that I am is God.
Beautiful. Good morning. I'm Reverend Karyl Huntley. Please follow me into prayer. I know that all there is God. Everything in form, everything in potential. All that flows and changes and creates and transforms and recreates again. It is all that infinite power and presence that I call God. All that is known in the mind of God. And there's only one mind. There's only one life. There's only one substance out of which everything is made. And therefore, all that I am is God. My form, my ideas, my creative capacity. I have it. I am it. Because all that I am is God. And God is all there is. And so, as I know this for myself, I know this for each sweet person here or viewing on the internet or watching this in the future that is becoming in the mind of God. All that any of it is God. The internet, the viewers, the ideas, the people here today, the people next to the people here today, the people that will be met by the people here today, the mountain on which we hike after the service. All of it is God. There is nothing that exists that is not a part of this wholeness. And so today, in this beautiful springtime of becoming, it is so evident that all I see is God, that anything that seems unlike it gets very fuzzy and filmy in my awareness and sort of disappears of its own accord as I step into this becoming energy of spring, knowing that that too is God. And that anything that I declare that spring energy brings forth into my experience, God just says, yes, here it is. So I know this for me and for everyone here. We all use the same energy. So as I release this prayer into that law that makes it so, it makes it so for each and every person. So I do that now with my thanks, giving it into the law, and so it is as I have spoken. Amen. Okay. And now for another amazing and fabulous thing today. We have Sechko, Meese, and Juniper. Bodhi Sechko, Stephen Meese, and Barbara Juniper are a newly formed trio. And they, oh gosh, it's like you've been singing together for lifetimes, of course. This is their first year performing together, and next Saturday I want to see every single face at the big concert that celebrates Bodhi's 60th year on the planet. And they will be performing along with Jennifer Barazan is a special guest, and you can support this event by purchasing advance tickets like I have. And becoming a sponsor to help realize this concert of a lifetime, support our beloved, beloved artistic director and friend. So please welcome Sechko, Meese, and Juniper.
Voice of God is singing through me. Feel it singing through my whole being. The voice of God is singing through me. And I feel last time if you want to sing with us, The Breath of God. The breath of God is breathing through me. Feel it breathing through my whole being. The breath of God is breathing through me, and I feel purify my soul, and I feel purify my soul. Thank you.
Oh, it's going to be so great Saturday night. I am up here to begin the announcements because I have a special gratitude that I would like to share. Now, we give gratitude to various groups and just hope that we get everybody by and by. And we have given thanks to the video team, not too much in the distant past, but I want to do it again because I got an email this week from someone who used to be a part of this community and moved away and loves us still. And she wrote to me, as I watched you live a few weeks ago, tears just rolled down my face and dripped off. So I just want to say thank you, team. Why don't we all turn around and wave to all those precious ones that are watching on the video. We love you and good morning. So we're going. What? Okay, great. A volunteer capacity, and then you'll learn a new skill, and you can put that on your resume, and then you can go to Hollywood as well. I'm a videographer. Okay. So we're going to say goodbye to the children large and small, and old and young, or, a variety of children. We love you, bless you, thank you for being on the planet. So now I'm also up here to introduce to you someone who is new on the announcement team. The practitioners have a rotation that they sign up for every year. And Deborah Welsh signed up for doing the announcement, so this is her very first time. Would you please welcome warmly Deborah Welsh. No, it should be on.
Hello?
Yeah, there.
Thank you. Good morning. Okay, so I was going to do it in sign language, but I didn't think anybody would understand. So, first on the list is Spirit and Nature Group. And the first meeting of the entire interest group will be after the service today, right in the patio. So, followed by the introductory easy hike, and that will be with our own Hannah, who's right over here. So we're also having our annual meeting, March 10th. Everyone is invited to honor leaders, hear news, vote in the new members of the core council. Delicious borscht lunch will be available for $5, and Reverend Barbara is going to be here and share our sister community from the Ukraine. And that's always a wonderful event, so sign up if you would like to bring borscht. And we're also having our estate planning, moving through the blocks. You can pick this flyer up over here on this table. It's March 13th. If you would like support in thinking through how you would like to have your life accumulations to be distributed to your loved ones, come to the Loving Workshop offered by Karyl and Barbara Cox, and that's free. And we also have this fabulous guest speaker coming up, Peter. I always want to say Casanova. Peter Canova, yes. This is very exciting. He's returning April 7th, straight from a packed house presentation at our convention. Peter Canova will weave his amazing research into the divine feminine, early Christianity, secret teachings of Jesus, quantum physics, and more. And here's the flyer, and you can also get that over here. And also, how many people like to cook and bring something for Easter? Yes, Easter is coming. And before you know it, this place will be just packed with people, Easter bonnets. We're going to have our Easter giveaway auction up there, and we have our sign-up sheets. Today is the first day. Please sign up for different foods that you can bring. We're also looking for leadership, and we'd love to have you sign up. So also read your bulletin for more. And I'd like to welcome all the first-timers. Thank you for coming. And now here's our one and only, our lovely Reverend Karyl, to talk about spiritual trips.
I have a couple of announcements myself, and that involves 2 sacred journeys that I'm leading this summer. If you would like to have an amazing spiritual adventure in Greece, with all of the ancient ruins that are just so beautiful and the energy of the gods and goddesses, that's in June. And then Doreen Cumberford, our kind of adopted friend from Scotland, and I are leading a tour to central Scotland with some of the ancient stones and a wonderful spa called Creef Hydro. That's in August. The flyers are over there, and I'd be very happy to talk to you about that. So, that's the announcements. Didn't Deb do a great job? Yeah. Absolutely. Well, now she's all initiated, and you'll see her again. So, the theme this year, all year long, is the new world and the ancient path. Say that together with me. The new world and the ancient path. So something very funny, happened last Sunday. Someone sat next to Elizabeth Austin and said, "Oh, they're talking about the New World Order." No, we are not. It's not the New World Order. I don't even understand what that is, but it's something about a one world government, and it's not what we're doing. What we are doing with the New World is the notion that the shift to oneness, mutual well-being, respect for all living beings, conscious choices, generosity, all of that world of peace and prosperity that we all long for ourselves and for each other, that shift has already happened. Now, when a shift takes place, it's very often not able to be discerned right away unless you're really, really focused on it, because the shift is slight at first. But then what we do is we lean into it, and the shift becomes the new established normal. So the future is already here. You just have to know where to look for it. And one of the places of the new world, with the peace and the prosperity for all, the generosity of spirit, the feeling of oneness, is right here. And so when we talk about the new world, we talk about taking this energy of oneness out there and actually leaning into this shift that has already taken place. And the way that we do that this year is by looking at the ancient wisdom, as well as I give you little tidbits of how it is changing in the world, how we can see this shift taking place. And our theme this year is depicted on this wonderful Celtic cross that you can take one home, actually, and do your own work with it. There's some on the newcomers table. There is some here on the events table. So what we're doing is going around the calendar, for this was the ancient calendar. The calendar of most of the indigenous people of the world was a circle, certainly not what we have, which is tearing off the pages and throwing them away, tearing off the pages and throwing them away. It was a circle that came around again and came around again and came around again with very definite energies in each season, which we are following. So, and of course, translating them into our own life. So the first month in January was conceiving. And we talked about that brand new idea that we are going to bring forth in this year. Then February was dedication. When we get the idea, then we say, yes, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do that one. That's me. And then all of the universe supports you with its big yes, and you're on a roll. So I don't have the word up yet, but it will be up next week. March's word is resurgence. Resurgence. Do that with me. Resurgence. You know, that is just, it's so sweet. That's exactly what is happening, actually, because you can feel especially, well, we get an early spring, but the beautiful altar that Sean made is definitely spring. You look out there, and we've already had on some plants what is called a bud break, and that term bud break is actually a vintner term. It's when the buds on the grapevines, the little green shoots push out of this stick that looks dead. And that's why it's called the bud break, because it literally pushes up through this dead, seemingly dead piece of wood. The bud break hasn't happened yet on the vines, but it certainly has happened on my roses, that out of the dead, seemingly brown stick comes this beautiful red shoot that, and by Mother's Day, as you know, I have hundreds of roses. So, it's the energy of coming out of hibernation. So if there's any of that energy going on, it is time to come out of the little burrow and peek up and say, woohoo, it's springtime. So that little woohoo energy, I think, was in me when I wrote the title to this talk, which is, I think, the silliest title I've ever had, which is, yay, here we are, back again. And I think that was the last thing I did before I packed everything up to go on the trip to convention. You know, I was like, oh, I have to get my title in. So I knew that I wanted to talk about the meaning of spring and how we move from conceiving to dedicating to resurgence, and how we can feel. And one of the things I actually want to do on the hike today at a break is lie on the ground, because you can feel the energy moving up through Mother Earth into us and into the plants. And so it's feeding us, feeding the leaves, feeding the petals. And the word today is rebirth. Right there, rebirth. I like this so much that I put a quote in this little book that I compiled. The bookstore has it. Henry Ellicombe said, "The greatest mystery in the bursting forth of plants is that it is done when growth is at its tenderest age. When the shoot is tender and brittle, it has power to push through everything that binds it down." And so if that energy is in a little weed that comes up through a crack in the pavement, that energy is in you to come up through anything that seems to be holding you down. So, moving into the lesson today, we have this prefix, re, R-E. Re is seen in many, many words in the dictionary. It goes through pages and pages and pages of re words, like regain, revive, rebuild. The re prefix actually, did you know I used to be an English teacher? I really channeled that young me from the past. I had my mother's name then, Jones. I was Miss Jones, the English teacher. So you can say good morning, Miss Jones. Good morning, students. So means to do again, like revise, recall, and repeat. Or it means to begin again, like recreate, realign, and renew. So spring has this again energy. It's like, here we are again at this resurgence of energy on the northern hemisphere of planet Earth. It's bursting forth. And we can actually use the again energy to do either one of these, but they're very different. They might seem similar, but they're very different. Because when we do something again, we do the same thing over. And when we begin again, we begin something entirely new. So I really want you to think about this differentiation for your own consciousness, your own thinking, your own thoughts that you put into the creative milieu, because the energy of again is upon us. And you can do it over again, or you can use this again energy and begin something entirely new. Because the creative capacity only says yes. So in the textbook, I loved that Frank gave the front piece of the textbook. It says, so great is this power, so complete is our freedom in it, so absolute the domain of law through it, that the misuse of this power has brought upon us the very conditions from which we suffer. We are bound because we are first free. The power which appears to bind us is the only power in the universe that can free us. So this is the again energy. It's the energy of creation that just says, yes, you can do that. You can do that again, or you can begin something entirely new. Now, we have this energy to create all year round, of course. There is no more of it now than there is in the dead of winter. But because spring is as it is, resurgence, we are reminded that we have this beginning again energy all the time. And so it's a wonderful time of year to begin again, to say, what is it that wants to come through you, me? It's like it's time to be brand new. And that question, what wants to come through you that is brand new, is a great question that we ask in visioning. And that's a spiritual practice that we use in this community for everything, basically. And what we do is, in prayer, we ask a question. We ask a question like, what new wants to come through me? And then we wait. And we strive to not let our own yappy mind answer the question. If something comes through that seems like, oh God, I've heard this before, it might not be the actual new idea that you're looking for. So I recently came across something that I always knew, of course, but it's put in words that are slightly different, and so I think about it a little bit differently. That the things that we do in life, the things that we do, fall into 4 categories. The things that some of us try to do, we are unskilled at. Do you know this? Do you know that sometimes when you try to do things, you say, oh God, I am just not good at this. And then if somebody tries to tell you have to do it anyway, it's really hard and uncomfortable and not fun, and it doesn't even feel like you want to learn how to do it because it is not your thing. So that's the unskilled things that we push ourselves to do. Then there are the things that we're adequate at. We can do them. We don't particularly like them, but we can do them. Vacuuming is one for me. You know, there are some people that really, really enjoy vacuuming and are good at it. I can see some nods. I got a vacuum, and I can do it. And I wouldn't call myself unskilled at it. I mean, what is there? You just pick up the pieces, right? Yeah. But anyway, so there's the things that you are adequate at. Then there are the things that you're skilled at, the things that you really do well. And as we go up this continuum, it starts feeling better and better. When I say to you, there are things that you can do that you know that you're really skilled at, I see big smiles on people's faces. That's a great thing. Then there are the things that you are a genius at. Okay? Now, the best that some of us do are working in the adequate part and the skilled part. But when we are expressing in our genius, we are thrilled. And so is the universe. We fulfill our place in life by expressing our genius. So this year, see, I do this so I can do it. I dedicated myself to living in my genius. So what's happened is, for the first time, I am leading 2 journeys to sacred sites this year. That is my genius. I teach and help people experience the ancient wisdom of those sites. That is part of my genius. Most of you know that we're here last week. I was elected to the Ministers' Council because part of my genius is I'm nurturing. If I make dinner for you, you know you've been nurtured. And that's one of the things I'm skilled at. Some people are geniuses at that too. So then the other thing that is my genius is rituals. And I am starting to be asked to do rituals for individual people that are not a part of the community. People call me up and say, I have this friend who really needs to move through blah, blah, blah. Do you think you could do a ritual for her? And so when you are aware of your genius, and when you say yes to your genius, this again energy, this resurgence energy says yes back. And it feels so good. In fact, nothing feels better than giving your gifts in your genius area. Nothing feels better than giving your gifts in your genius area. And if you think that you can think of something that feels better, well, maybe that's your genius area. Just saying. So when we look at this new energy that's happening now, and we're looking at our community, our annual meeting is next week, and we have so much new energy that is bubbling up here. Deborah Welch is just part of that, as being one of our new announcement persons, and standing on the shoulders of the great leaders that we've had before, like Katrina's here this morning. We are moving into a new thing, the Spirit in Nature group today with Reverend Hannah. We're on our first hike. Reverend Sarah and I have this great plan about Reverend Sarah leading a new program through our community called Helping Each Other Succeed. That's going to roll out next month, a support group for personal success. And then I've been talking to Mary Cosgrove about emphasizing social media expansion. And let me tell you, we talked about the Spiritual Living app that's coming out in March. We're going to be all over that. All over that. So the core council meeting that we had last week was explosive in the best kind of ways. Just all this new, wonderful energy. So I want to invite you to the annual meeting to hear about that. So how about you? How about you? What is your genius that wants to come through? Hildegard of Bingen was a Christian mystic. She wrote, "Good people, most royal greening verdancy, rooted in the sun, you shine with radiant light." That's you. She talked about living on the green growing edges of our becoming. Isn't that fabulous? Living out there on the green growing edges. After the bud break and the little shoots and tendrils go out and wrap around their posts, out on the edge there. is the green growing edge of our becoming. That's where we want to live. So Spirit in you wants to do new stuff, have new experiences. How do I know that? Because I do understand that much about life on earth. That if you're bored, there's a reason. And that is that Spirit wants to do new things through you. And you ask that question, envisioning what new wants to come through me. And it will knock your socks off. So I know because I talk to people that are sad that it doesn't feel like that again energy is for them. They say, well, I can't do that. Or I'm too old or too something. Or, well, yes, I tried that. And these these ideas of can't are self-imposed blocks, and they are not supported in truth. Referring back to the Ernest Holmes that I read to you, the misuse of this power has brought upon us the very conditions from which we suffer. We are bound because we are first free. The power which appears to bind us is the only power in the universe that can free us. So if you have been talking to yourself about, it's this energy instead of this energy, it's, I can't do this because whatever reason you give, it doesn't matter the reason. There is that which in you that is seeking resurgence right now. So one of the ways that I suggest that you do this is to see a practitioner. Because what happens when you see a practitioner is that you have a personal teacher. See, I can stand up here and inspire you, and I hope I do. I hope I entertain and make you laugh and make you cry and you feel good. But then to have a real teacher who works with you and works with your ideas and your complaints, and some of these blocks are unconscious. And so as you're chattering along, the practitioner is trained to listen for what those beliefs might be that are holding you back. So you get your personal teacher when you work with a practitioner. And so that's why they become practitioners. I have four, are my 4 students here? Will you stand up? One's there, and one's there, and one's there, and one's there. Stay standing. Now these are Prac 1 students. And they are learning, or they will in the next year and a half learn how to do what I just said. Listen for those unhealed beliefs in you that keep you from living in your genius, because I want you all to live in your genius. And I want you to want me to live in my genius, and I want you to want the person next door to you to live in their genius. So actually, why don't you turn to someone right now next to you and say to them, most royal greening verdancy. And then the next line is, most royal greening verdancy. You shine with radiant light. Something new wants to come through you. Yeah. Woohoo! Yeah. So right now we have a big treat for you. We have a big treat for you because something new is coming through our community. We are changing our volunteer coordinator because Linda Kaczynski, who has served us for 4 years, wants something new in her life. I mean, she's remaining in our community, but all that she's done for us, she's seeking something new. And the person to take her place, Pat Sandry, is seeking something new in service. So would Linda Kaczynski come right up here, and Pat Sandry come right up here. Pat, you're right here, sweetheart, and Linda, you're right here. And then would all of the people on the volunteer teams come up and stand around them? So what happens is that there's a team every Sunday. We have 5 teams that create this space. And so all of these people and more that couldn't be here today have worked under Linda. So it is time to honor a major transition in our community. One servant of spirit is stepping down from their position and another coming into that place. It is a blessed thing when such a transition happens with a gentle movement in seamless change. And so we've got Linda up here who has served as the Sunday team leader for 4 years. And not only does she know how to do every single job to set up this place for Sunday, but she keeps the roster of all of the people that are serving on the next Sunday. She sends emails to remind them. And all of these people just show up, and all of the food that you get, that it's from many of you bring the food, but they fix the food, they make it pretty, they make everything pretty, they make the tables pretty. They are also the ushers that give you the bulletins at the door and then collect the offering, and all of that was in Linda's care. And Pat is now stepping into very big shoes. So Linda, first of all, it is your consciousness of welcoming that did so much to create the container of our community for these past 4 years. Your work has been in the background to produce the order and grace that is the outward expression of our Sunday service. Your volunteer teams love you. And your work with them has been absolutely devoid of conflict. Your mastery of your position is immense. Your communication is always clear and timely. Challenges, if there were any, were solved by you and not passed on. It has been a joy to witness you in this role. Please accept this song in honor of your skillful and loving work. Something to you that should look familiar, but kind of strange also because it's decorated. So, Linda, the rolling cart is a symbol of the work of you and your teams. It is holy service to feed one another. Much food has been prepared and transported on this cart over the last 4 years. Let this cart represent all that you have experienced, both what you have given and what you have received in your time as Sunday leader. So can you tell us some of the things that have come into your life because of these 4 years?
Hello? Hi. I haven't held a microphone in my hand since I last sang karaoke on the cruise ship, so forgive me if I'm not speaking into it correctly. But anyway, first I just want to say I'm completely overwhelmed by the ritual that's happening right now. So thank you. I've really been honored to hold this position in this community. I think this is an amazing community of people, and some of the things that I've experienced over the past few years has been, I'd say, a real sense of community and family. I personally don't have any family in the area, so I look to this group as an extended family. I've met some amazing people, and I've established some really wonderful friendships as well. And I don't think that would have happened to that extent without me being in a formal position of the coordinator for the Sunday team. So I've very much enjoyed the role. I think the teams who have served under me have all been amazing and terrific, and you've stepped forward when I needed you, and so thank you so much. Sorry for the sniffing. Anyway, I would say that I've just really enjoyed the work and the role. So thank you. Thank you all.
So, Linda, now is the time that you end your service in this capacity. Your work as the Sunday team leader is over. And Pat is ready to take this important place in the life of our community and begin her tenure in co-creating the container of the welcoming presence. What qualities and experiences can you symbolically put on the rolling cart to give to Pat as she begins?
Can you repeat that last part, please?
What do you wish for Pat? What do you wish for Pat in doing the job that you've done so beautifully in 4 years?
What I wish for Pat is enjoyment of the position. I wish for her new friendships to begin, because she'll be kind of in a spot where people will know her. And I wish for her to put her own stamp on the program, how she wishes to manage it, and that she feels comfortable in doing so. I wish you a lot of fun, and I wish you fully equipped 6-person teams every Sunday. That's what I wish for you, Pat.
So now, in the symbolic passing off of this volunteer leadership position, would you roll the cart to Pat? So, Linda, now is the time for you to take your place in our community as a member and participant. Charlie Warner, one of your volunteers, is ready to escort you to your place of honor this morning. Suzanne is giving you some hospitality, a piece of cake. It's your cake, sweetheart, and I hope you get a chance to look at it. It says, "We are so grateful, Linda." And so that little crystal tray is for you. And where's the basket? The basket has 3 more of those little crystal sets so that you can have littler hospitality parties in your home, or take the basket on a picnic and be, just have fun in smaller settings and stay on the team. So, Pat, now is the moment you fully accept your position as the Sunday team leader. What do you hope to give and receive in this position?
I am going to give my commitment to service, and I give my open heart, and I give my namaste greeting, which to me means the divinity in me honors and sees the divinity in you.
Perfect. This is a big job, but you have lots of help. Now is the time for the commitment of all of us to forge this new relationship with Pat. So, team, have some questions for you. Will you lovingly support Pat and each other as you prepare this space for the community each Sunday? Will you be open to the joys of sacred service beyond your tasks, fostering friendships and personal connections? Will you have as much fun as humanly possible in your sacred service, modeling such service in joy as spiritual practice? And Pat, will you give of your time, your talent, and your love to your teams, and thus to the community, in your new position as Sunday team leader? And okay, that one. Yes. Okay. And because this one's important, I wanted you to think of this separately. Will you also model good self-care by asking for advice, help, or time off when you need it? And will you have as much fun as humanly possible in your sacred service, modeling such service in joy as spiritual practice? Community. Will you all love these volunteers and leaders and appreciate all the service that is given to you so that your spiritual experience on Sunday can be as deep, positive, and carefree as possible?
Yeah.
So, do you all join me in promising to see the face of God in each other and to support the feeling of spiritual family together? And so, Pat, for you and for your teams, please accept this song.
Here with my family, heaven is in my heart. I sing of the love I am. We are never apart. One mind, one heart, one life we live. One mind, one heart, one life we live. Once more. Here with my family, heaven is in my heart. I sing of the love I am. We are never apart. One mind, one heart, one life we live. One mind, one heart, one life we live.
And so, to conclude this beautiful transition, would one of you team members please take the rolling cart back to the kitchen so they can serve the rest of the community after service? And you may all be seated. was it. Please welcome Sechko, Mies, and Juniper once again.
Thank you. I made it through the first half of my life. peace through all the land and all the deep blue sea. Thank you.
And so if some of those wonderful team members would get in place for our tithes and offerings, that would be fabulous. And as you prepare your tithes and offerings, just remember that we're family. And we give to each other. And that's the way it is. I mean, I give, you give, and we all receive. So just whatever you're giving today, whether it's one of those cards that says, I've pledged, or if it's a check, or emptying out your pocketbook, or online and pushing that little donate button. Just hold the act of giving as sacred. It is a choice. It's a choice where you put your life force and the symbol of your life force, called money, into something that you love. It goes to the Golden Gate Center for Spiritual Living, and all of the teachings, the philosophy, the friendships, the past, the present, and the future of this precious organization. And we are so grateful. And so it is. Amen. So would the ushers please receive the gifts? And we have this great, great little spring song.
Now the green blade rises from the buried grain, wheat that in the dark earth many years has lain. Love lives again, and with the dead has been. Love is come again like a wheat that springs up green. When our hearts are sad and grieving or in pain, by your touch you call us back to life again. Fields of our hearts that dead and bare have been. Love is come again like wheat that springs up green. Now the green blade rises from the buried grain, wheat that in the dark earth many years has lain. Love lives again, and with the dead has been. Love is come again like wheat that springs up green.
So I bless this offering, and I bless the sweethearts that gave it, and all of the sweethearts that receive its bounty. Blessed be. So next week, of course, is our annual meeting. And be sure to sign up for something for Easter. We actually do need pretty much all of you to sign up for something, because we have this many more people wanting lunch. So that's over there. And then the bookstore has some wonderful things. And then there's a lot of cake. So please have 3 pieces each. And all right, all goes home with Linda. So would the practitioners come forward, and Marilyn is our practitioner of the morning.
And the practitioners who are present are surrounding the room now with their consciousness, holding our entire community in the embrace of that high intention for which we have all come. So will you join me now as I go deep within deep within to that place where I know and feel and experience and open to that experience of the one great life. That life that breathes the universe into creation. Every second of eternity. That love that never fails. And that peace, that joy, that abundance. Every part of me just resounds to this presence, just reverberates and vibrates, because this life is my life. It is the reality of my being. It beats my heart, as it beats every heart, for this is true of every person. And so I speak my word into this power for a new opening to be created in every life here. For newness, for that expression of what wants to come through each person here, that wonderful voice coming and saying, there's more in me than I ever knew, and it is coming forth now. I speak my word for the courage and the delight within each one of us to say yes to that voice. Yes to that newness. Yes to that willingness to be amazed. That willingness to be surprised. That willingness to be delighted and fulfilled. For I know that the universe supports this. And as we say yes to that greatness within which is ready to bloom, the universe says yes. And so I give thanks. And so it is. Amen.
So let's have the Spirit in Nature group meet in about 20 minutes outside. That's 11:35. You can get your 3 pieces of tape and meet me outside. And I'll see you at Bodhi's concert on Saturday. Please stand for the affirmation and closing song. Okay, right up here. With the blessed energy of spring, I begin again. I think anew. I dream and imagine in new ways. I am truly on the green growing edge of my becoming, supported by the inexhaustible creative capacity of my source.